He has the look of a champion. A real champion. Hello, welcome to Music and Stuff. I'm Rob Lewis and it is, thank Kiss, it's Friday. And this week I am reviewing music from The Elder. I don't think it was quite their worst selling album. I think it was the second worst selling album they released. It was released on November the 10th, 1981. And for a long time I had the wrong version. So this is the version I had. I got this from my older brother, who kind of went off Kiss, but he had a few albums that he sort of handed down to me. As you can see on here, like the album, the track listing starts like with The Oath, then you got Fanfare, Just a Boy, Dark Light, Only You, then Under the Rose, World Without Heroes, Mr. Blackwell, Escape from the Island, Odyssey, I, and of course there's the epilogue. But the strange thing is that's not the correct order. So, Music from the Elder is Kiss's only concept album. I still don't really know what it's about. It's like some sort of medieval Star Wars kind of thing where there's like a force that's called the Elder, and this guy that's the boy that trains to be a warrior, very sort of Luke Skywalker-y, but it never made any sense, and it may well be because I was listening to it in the wrong order. So I don't know quite why this album was presented with the track listing in that order. It's very unusual. Well, it's very strange anyway. And it wasn't until I kind of heard that it was the wrong order, but that was the only version I had. But then a few years later I came across this version. Now you will notice that it's got the German Kiss logo. Do I really need to explain why that's the German version of the logo? I don't really think I do. Google it. It's history, isn't it? So and this has them in the correct order, which is Fanfare, Just a Boy, Odyssey, Only You, Under the Rose, Dark Light, A World Without Heroes, The Oath, Mr. Blackwell, Escape from the Island, and I, and then of course the epilogue. And it actually makes a bit more sense. Still not really sure what's going on, but narratively it kind of flows better this way. It's the only album, I believe, that has no pictures of the band. It's just got that hand, which for a long while was rumoured to be Paul Stanley's hand, but apparently it was a hand model. But then there's a photo of Paul Stanley by the door, which is some building in New York. So it's still a little bit unsure. But this was Music from the Elder with Robert Christie, Anthony Parr, Christopher Makepeace, and the American Symphony Orchestra and St. Robert's Choir. So, as well as Kiss, there was extra musicians on this, and obviously you can hear the strings and the choir and everything. The lineup had just changed, so Peter Criss had left at the end of Unmasked. Well, he didn't even play on Unmasked. It was Anton Fig that played drums on Unmasked, but Peter Criss officially left the band and was replaced by Eric Carr, fantastic drummer, Eric Carr. But it was his first album and Ace Frehley's final album, and Ace Frehley doesn't do a huge amount on this. I'll talk about Dark Light shortly. So let's kick off with the album, produced of course by Bob Ezrin as well. I think I've covered every Bob Ezrin Kiss album now on this channel, and so I'll do a special video about Bob Ezrin. So track number 1, I'm not going to give this a rating because it's not really a song, but it's fanfare. In fact, it was even written in lowercase italics, unlike the capitals that you got for the other tracks. So fanfare, yeah, it's just a little, just some trumpets and strings, just to kind of set the scene, sort of medievalish, kind of Merlin-y, kind of. Yeah, I still don't get it. Right, so that's fanfare. So I'm not giving that a rating because it's not really a Kiss song. Oh, hang on. Yep, what's up? Thanks for watching this video. I really hope you're enjoying it. If you are, maybe you could just help out a small channel by pressing the like button, sharing it to your friends, hit the subscribe button and the alarm notification bell so you can keep up to date with my new videos, and just generally just watching them. It all helps. I'm just a small creator just trying to find my way in this YouTube metropolis. If you really want to help out as well, there's a link to my Patreon in the description and in my About section. So again, thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Do you know, every episode is the same. I get bored of it. But yeah, cheers. Track number 2. Just a Boy. But I am just a boy, too young to be sailing. I am just a boy. The falsetto, I really want to remember who it was that I nicked that from. It's not a name that I've given it. I cannot take credit for it, but I will use it. Paul Stanley's falsetto voice. Unusual way to start an album, but it flows better than the original way that I'd heard it. Yeah, nice little acoustic-y kind of song with other lyrics in a different context. Could be a great little ballad, I think. But definitely the Paul Setto voice. But he does it well. Say what you want, but he does it well. You can't take that away from him. Well, he did it well. I don't think he can now. Unless he can still do the falsetto. He certainly can't do it with his main singing voice. But you never know. But yeah, so Just a Boy. I'm going to give that, actually going to give that an 8 out of 10. Oh yeah. Then we get to Odyssey. Now I really like this, and I forgot I was going to look up, because, sorry about the click, apparently it was a cover, and I did look it up the other day and I can't remember what I found. Odyssey, song by Kiss, diddle diddle da, that's just lyrics. Oh, it was covered by Sack Trick. Was it? I can't remember now. I really should have looked this up first. But music from the album by Tim McFate and Julian Gill. Oh no, that's who wrote this article. Sorry. I don't know. That's mental. What's that? Wiping your ass? What? It's talking about how they used Charmin in the studio. Mental. Tony Powers. Ah, so it was written, right, got it. So Tony Powers wrote the song, Kiss recorded it, and then later Tony Powers recorded his version of it. So it's like a preemptive cover? Not quite sure how that works. But I really like Odyssey, actually. Not everybody does. Not every Kiss fan likes Odyssey. But I don't mind it. I think it's quite good. Yeah. 8 out of 10. I think it's a pretty solid song. Track 4, Only You. No, not the song by the Platters. I should have been stressing who sang these songs as well. So Just a Boy was a Paul song. Well, I said that clearly. Odyssey was a Paul Stanley song. Only You was a Gene Simmons song. How I understand it is Paul Stanley played the part of the boy and Gene played the part of the elder, and Ace was someone else, but I'll come to that in a minute. Only You. Nice, moody sort of song. Only you have the answer. Yeah, not a huge amount to say about that, really. Good vocals from Gene. I'm going to give Only You an 8 out of 10. Then we get to track 5, Under the Rose. This is where they had a choir and everything going on. Very well produced song. Bit mad. 7 out of 10. Now we get to track 6, which was Dark Light, which was sung by Ace Frehley, and this was recorded in Ace's own studio, and he shipped it over to the band. He basically did his parts separate to the rest of the band in his own home studio, which he built like underground, I think, in his estate. But it was originally called Don't Run, and somewhere I've got a CD of Kiss demos that covered the Creatures, Elder and Lick It Up era, and it's on there as Don't Run, but they had to rework it for Dark Light to fit the album. It's alright, it's not Ace's finest song, but it's decent enough. Obviously recorded separately. Dark Light, I'll give 7 out of 10. Then we get to track 7, A World Without Heroes. If you've been following this channel for a while, you may have noticed that I record songs every so often, and a lot of them are covers, and I've done a whole bunch of Kiss ones, and A World Without Heroes is one that I covered, and if I can be bothered, I'll put it up there so you can find it. World Without Heroes, what a banger. Co-written by Lou Reed, I believe. Lou Reed, Bob Ezrin and Gene Simmons. Just off the top of my head, it's a Gene Simmons song, which is strange. You'd think it wouldn't be, but I guess because of the way the singers are casted on this album, that's why it's a Gene Simmons song. But it really, really works. Great song. My only real criticism is it's just a bit too short. I think another verse would have been good. Excuse me. Every time I sit in this chair with these lights, I yawn. I'm sorry. I can't be bothered to keep editing them out. World Without Heroes. I particularly like when they did it at the MTV Unplugged concert in 95 or 96. Because I think it's the only time they ever played it live. And Paul Stanley did the guitar solo. Is that right? I think so. There's a lot of activity going on out there. Yeah, Paul Stanley did a guitar solo. Just a phenomenal. I mean, when I do the Unplugged review, you're going to like that one. But yeah, great song, World Without Heroes. Really good quality Kiss song. I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. Then we come to The Oath, track 8. Hell of a riff. The Oath, really heavy, bombastic kind of track. For all those years, it was track 1 when I listened to this album. Now it's obviously track 8, but I still think of it as an opener, which is weird. That's 2 yawns now in one video. That's mental. The Oath, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. Track 9, Mr. Blackwell. Still ain't got a bloody clue what the song's about, but it's really good. I am a sinner who just loves to sin. Gene's song. I am a fighter who just loves to win. Some odd sound effects going on, made with the instruments and stuff. Just a very peculiar song. I don't really know who Mr. Blackwell is. You're not well, oh Mr. Blackwell, and we can tell. But it's great. It doesn't matter that I don't know what it's about, but it's great. 8 out of 10 for Mr. Blackwell. Then we get to track 10, Escape from the Island. And I always kind of thought this was just the end of Mr. Blackwell. Because even on my old album, this came after Mr. Blackwell. And because there's no gap between, it just one goes straight into the other. So I always thought that was the case. But it is Escape from the Island, and it's instrumental, played by Eric Carr, Ace Frehley and Bob Ezrin, I believe. As far as I'm aware, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons weren't involved, maybe. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, of course, let me know in the comments. But it's a good fun little bit of music. 8 out of 10 for Escape from the Island. And we get to track 11, which is I. It's good. It's alright, yeah. I Believe in Me, the shortest Kiss title in the world. And yeah, it's a fun little way to end the album. I believe in me. I believe in something more than you can understand. Yes, I believe in me. And I think we should all take something from that. Believe in yourself. Do it. Then we get track, and the score, 7 out of 10 for I. Then we get to track 12, which was the epilogue. Bit weird. It's like the fanfare all over again, but there's a couple of voices. There's like, Morpheus, you have been summoned here to offer your judgment of the boy. It's got like a voice modulator, and I think it's the same effect that Gene Simmons would have on his vocals when they did God of Thunder live. I am the Lord of the Wasteland. But yeah, and then Morpheus comes in and he's just like this old dude. He says, he has the look of a champion, a real champion. Again, I'm not really going to give it a score because it's not a song as such, so that's null and void. Is it any good? I mean, it's just kind of a nothing part of it, really. So, that's go once, twice, 3 yawns are lazy. Oh dear, it's tickled me. Oh, neighbours are kicking off again. What was I going to say about it? Yeah, it was supposed to be, so this whole album was supposed to be like a story. It was like the soundtrack to a movie that was never made. That apparently Gene had written, but it was never made. So you just got this weird soundtrack album. It didn't do very well. From what I understand, the critics were kind when it was released, but it didn't sell. It's not what Kiss fans were looking for. But I really like it. I think it's a decent album. I listen to it purely just for the musical side of things. I'm not bothered about the story. I've got no investment in that, but I like it. The album, after turning the points, leaving out fanfare and epilogue, 8 out of 10. So yeah, whichever version you've got, I mean personally I think this is the better version, how it's supposed to be. But yeah, great album. If you've kind of put off listening to it because you thought, oh, it's going to be a bit shit, didn't do very well, then stop judging things like that. Have an independent thought for once in your life, boy. Yeah, check it out. Music from the Elder. Next, I believe, I can't see the screen at the moment, but I think I'm going to be talking about the video Extreme Close Up that came out about 92, 93, whatever it was. So I should be watching that. I swear Gene does the big But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to do all the like and subscribe and all that kind of shit that you got to do now. And I'll catch you in the next one. Catch you later, Bill and Ted. What it is I need is like a 20-second clip that I can put at the end of each video. You know how other YouTubers do it? Whether I have at the end of a video like 4 things on the screen, as you know, like and subscribe, that kind of stuff. I just need something like that, but I don't know what to put.